Hey guys, it's Mike here, and welcome to another edition of Dragon Ball Super Reviews, which I'm going to be reviewing Dragon Ball Super Episode 38, and then giving my predictions for what's going to happen in Dragon Ball Super Episode 39. Well, a lot of stuff happened this episode, and there's a lot of stuff to talk about. So, without further ado, let's get started. So this episode basically left off where the last one ended, with Vegeta standing face to face in the ring with Hit, sizing him up. Vegeta took a look at Hit and then was saying that because of his calm demeanor, he basically feels that he's probably incredibly strong considering how smooth he is during this whole situation. Everyone also looks on, sizing up Hit, and Whis mentions how Hit has never failed to get a target once he's been set out for a mission. After this point in time, Beerus rings the gong, and Monaka, funny enough, wakes up, but the second that Vegeta transforms into his Super Saiyan Blue transformation, strangely Monaka seems to pass out once again. And from the look on his face, it seems like it's due to the terror of experiencing the power of Vegeta firsthand, which is very interesting considering what we've heard about him in the past. Hit immediately takes a fighting stance and Vegeta laughs, saying, "Are you sure that you want to take such a small stance?" Once Vegeta takes one step, however, Hit immediately starts to fly into action, moving at incredible speeds. Vegeta says that he's fast, but not that fast, and rushes to hit him. However, immediately, Vegeta is hit directly in the nose by Hit and is sent flying back, shocked by what just happened. And everyone else is shocked as well, saying that they didn't even see Hit's movements during that attack. And apparently this attack actually drew blood on Vegeta immediately, which is interesting because of the fact that, of course, Vegeta is a Super Saiyan Blue, so he should be so much more powerful than every other fighter up until that point. In another surprising moment, Hit tells Vegeta that he should just give up at this point in time, which Vegeta laughs off and is actually bothered by, because of course it's shocking to Vegeta of all people that someone would tell him, a god, that he should immediately just surrender after getting hit one time. So Vegeta goes straight back after him, disappearing behind him, trying to hit him in the head, but then apparently Hit disappears one more time, reappearing behind Vegeta and punching him straight in the throat. So as we can tell, this guy is clearly someone who doesn't mess around. Hit then comes towards Vegeta one more time, rushing at super speeds. Vegeta puts up his guard, but it does nothing as Hit is still immediately able to hit Vegeta in the head. And then Hit proceeds to hit Vegeta over and over in various spots on his body. Vegeta tries to get back at him, but he can't. Eventually, Vegeta backs up, powers up, and is ready to launch his own ki attack. However, he's shocked once Hit puts his hands in his pockets and nonchalantly stands there staring at it as if it's going to do nothing at all to him. Vegeta yells at him, ready to make his blast, but the moment he's about to attack, Hit appears in front of him and punches him one more time, sending him backwards and knocking him to the ground. Hit then talks to him once again, saying, "Do you not see how this is? You should simply surrender." So again, he's trying to reiterate that he wants Vegeta to surrender, probably because he knows that he's unable to kill him due to the rules of the tournament. At this point in time, Goku teleports over to Jocko and asks him if he has seen anything during this fight that could give him a hint as to what Hit's technique is, considering how Jocko's super elite eyes have allowed him to detect things such as Frost Needle in the past when no one else seemed to be able to. But Jocko tells him he hasn't been able to see anything at all. Whis at this point also points out that apparently Hit has been directly targeting all of Vegeta's vital points on his body. So clearly all of his moves have been incredibly tactical towards Vegeta. And at this point we actually do see Vegeta on the ground once again as blood is dripping out of his mouth, and he's clearly in really bad shape as a result of this fight. And he hasn't even been able to hit Hit once. But again, as Vegeta rushes towards Hit, Hit tries to hit him in the stomach with a punch. However, Vegeta takes this punch and then grabs Hit's arm, catching him off guard. Now, while securely holding Hit's arm in place, Vegeta goes straight for a full-powered punch to Hit's face. However, even though the punch is in motion mere inches away from Vegeta's body, Hit is still able to get in with his technique, a critical blow straight to the sternum of Vegeta. And this blow is so devastating that Vegeta actually falls unconscious down to Hit's feet, and Hit is declared the winner of the fight. So basically at this point in time, this was the first half of the episode, and honestly, I don't really know how I feel about it. I do like Hit's technique. I mean, he's incredibly powerful at this point in time from what we can see, and he's able to even take out effortlessly, really, a god in Vegeta. However, there wasn't really much to this fight except for Vegeta basically being dominated the entire time, and so he kind of went out looking like a bitch in a lot of ways. Like, he really just did not come off looking all that good in this fight, and I guess that you could say that it really was made to build up Hit as a character and build up his technique, but as I'll get into in a little bit, this kinda seems to backfire in some ways, and it really just doesn't really help Vegeta in the end. It kinda just makes him look bad for no purpose whatsoever, but again, I guess I'll get into that in a minute, and let's just kinda get into that right now. So naturally, after Hit defeats Vegeta, Champa starts to laugh and mock Beerus, and then Goku sends Krillin down to take care of Vegeta with the Sensubi. He then talks to Jaco once again, seeing if maybe at this point in time, he's figured out what the special technique of Hit is. However, he says that Hit completely disappears just as he attacks. Goku asks him if he becomes invisible, but he says no, his clothes still remain. However, at this point in time, the Galactic King, Jaco's boss and the head of the Galactic Patrol, and I guess the king of the real galaxy, steps forward and states that it's something called the Toki Tobashi, which basically boils down to a technique which allows someone to skip forward through time, and that he sees that Hit is utilizing this technique. Now, I'll be honest, at this point in time, when I actually saw this part in the episode, I was kind of annoyed because basically what's happening right here is some character who they just introduced, who hasn't even done anything up until this point, is kind of going forward and telling Goku Hit's special technique and Hit's special power before Goku goes into the fight, which makes him start off immediately with an advantage that Vegeta did not have. And I feel like it's honestly really poor writing in a lot of ways for them to do that, because the fact that, I mean, why would this guy have seen this technique in the past, and why would Jaco have not known about it, whereas he did? It just seems strange that this character is coming out of nowhere and is basically acting as a Deus Ex Machina to give Goku the edge, and basically with Goku going to this fight with that advantage, it really just seems unfair from a writing perspective and from a character perspective, and it all just seems like it's built up so that Goku can get the victory over this character, which is ridiculous in the end. Goku starts to talk to people asking if there's any hint that they can give him of how to beat Hit and how to defeat the special technique of his, and pretty much everyone, including Vegeta himself, tell him no, they have no idea, and he's basically on his own. But he's even more on his own than we had previously thought, as Beerus and Whis are talking, and Whis reveals that in fact Monaka really is not that powerful after all. And Whis basically says that Monaka is sort of an amateur who is nowhere near as powerful as Goku or Vegeta, and is probably the weakest member of their team, and Beerus basically had been bringing him along so that he can motivate Goku and Vegeta to get stronger, since they think that there is someone out there who's even stronger than themselves. And this is very much playing into what, happened in Dragon Ball with Master Roshi, playing Jackie Chun in a tournament and beating Goku and Krillin so that he could motivate them to continue to get stronger as well. However, I honestly don't really see how this makes a lot of sense, considering the fact that Goku and Vegeta already wanted to become as strong, if not stronger, than Beerus and Whis in the first place. And Vegeta has gone on record many times saying that he wants to surpass all of them. And honestly, bringing this guy along to the fight in order to motivate them and having him being, not really powerful in the first place doesn't make a lot of sense, because the fact that realistically they're probably thinking, oh, if I lose, this guy who's even more powerful than us can step in and beat this guy, you know what I mean? So even if Goku and Vegeta somehow did lose, they probably had in the back of their minds, oh, Monaka could just take care of it. So honestly, if Beerus had brought him along and just said, oh, he's weak, you guys need to be as strong as possible, it probably would have worked even better than what he's doing right now. So it really just doesn't make a whole lot of sense, and basically this means that Goku at this point in time is on his own in this fight against Hit. It seems like they're just building up the whole thing for him to win, which makes the whole thing about him learning Hit's technique before he even enters the ring that much more ridiculous, because the fact that he's just going to be able to, exploit it and do whatever he wants. And as we see in the next coming fight, that's basically what happens. As Goku steps in, he tells Hit, oh, I have basically a hint, that'll tell me how to defeat you. Hit starts to hit him over and over again, but then as we get into it, Goku inevitably blocks one of Hit's attacks, and he tells him that he knows what his technique is, and he knows, now how to predict where Hit is going to move during their fight. In fact, he's able to do this so well that he even hits Hit in the face during their fight, and is able to draw blood from Hit, something that even Vegeta as a Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan wouldn't do. Now, I should point out that during this point in the fight, Goku is still in his base, because he said that he wanted to be in his base to figure out Hit's moves or strategy or something like that, even though, again, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because why wouldn't he just be a Super Saiyan Blue, to be as fast and as strong as possible in case, Hit's gonna go all out and hit him as hard as he can. But again, this whole part of the episode, really in terms of logic, in terms of writing, just did not work for me. And the episode basically ends after Goku kicks Hit in the chest, steps forward and says, okay, now I know how you work, now I'm going to go full power and go after you. And that's basically just how the episode ended, and honestly, when it comes to this episode, I don't think it was terrible, I don't think it was bad, I just don't think it's as good as the episodes preceding, and I just feel like they're setting up all these convoluted ideas and just putting into action all of this bad writing just to get Goku in the driver's seat in this fight, to bring him back into the tournament, which they really honestly shouldn't have done in the first place, and have Goku get the win in the end. I'm not someone who doesn't like Goku as a character, I definitely like him, but the fact of the matter is that Goku's just gonna step in, he knows Hit's technique right away, so he doesn't even figure it out during the fight at all, which is ridiculous in my opinion. It just all feels really rushed. So I just didn't really care for this episode anywhere near as all of the different episodes that we had seen up until this point, and I really am not liking where the end of this tournament is ending up going, because at this point in time, it just seems like Goku's gonna beat Hit and he's gonna win, and really, if Goku automatically knows what Hit's technique is, where's the stakes and where's the tension in that? But I guess I'm gonna have to explain a little bit more about that in my predictions, which I'm gonna get into right now. As we see in this next coming episode, it seems like Goku is basically in the driver's seat during the fight, that is going to happen in this next preview. He's a Super Saiyan Blue, and he's attacking Hit, and, he's knocking Hit down. Now, of course, Hit does appear to be getting stronger during this, and the text of this next coming episode and the next episode preview states, as translated by Herms from Kanzenshu, "Hey, this is Goku. I tried to look all cool by saying I'd beaten the time skip, but when Hit gets down to business, he's stronger than I imagine. Just what you would expect from the best of Universe 6, but I'm gonna take him on with my trump card I've been hiding this whole time. Next week on Dragon Ball Super, a fully developed time skip counterattack. Is it coming? Goku's new technique. Definitely check it out." And as we see at the end of, this actual episode, at the end of this preview, we see Goku's new aura seems looking, kind of similar to, what he did as a Super Saiyan 2. There's lightning. However, a lot of different stuff has come out that has said that it might be this or it might be that, and basically, it just seems like Goku, the second he stepped into this fight against Hit, just had the advantage the whole time, and that's really not something that I feel like they should have been pushing, as their final climactic fight of this tournament, and I feel like that was the fatal flaw of Resurrection F as well. Basically, the entire time, Goku just had Frieza beat, and even when Frieza had the advantage over him, he was like, oh, you're just gonna run out of power, and so basically now it's like, oh, I'm stronger than you, and I can predict where all your movements are. You can get stronger all you want, but I got a new special technique I'm gonna beat you with. So I'm just not liking where this is going right now, and I hope that, if Goku does win, I hope that there's something else that comes out of this that makes it all worth even more while, because Goku just stepping in and just being automatically more powerful than the strongest guy from that team and winning, to me, is a little bit ridiculous, and honestly, it's boring, because, it should have gone a different direction with something a little bit more interesting and with a little bit more stakes and a lot more tension involved. And the fact that Goku is already, knowing Hit's techniques and has a special technique just basically dissolves all of it. So I don't really know. I'm just predicting that Goku's going to win, and, we'll have to see what goes from there. But basically, this has been my review and predictions for the next coming episode, and I don't really know how I feel about it. So let me know your own thoughts down below. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? What were your thoughts on this episode? What are your thoughts on my review? Let me know down below. Also, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. As I always say, stick around, because there's a lot more to come in the future.